Welcome back, Questers, to the Questing Bard. I'm Angela Tano, and those of you who are new, welcome. So, today we're going to be talking about the Ahsoka series, especially the first episode. I haven't watched the second one just yet. I'm going to watch that tonight. I need a little break to process everything from the first one and before watching the next one. That's just me. I know this is a writing channel. We will be going back into my writing for next week. But let me just keep you up to date right now what's going on. I'm still working on the first draft. It's still coming along. We're definitely getting some major plot points and areas coming in. One of the characters is maternal side is I'm really getting to work on that, and that's very exciting. So I look forward to talking more about that in detail next week. However, today I did promise that we're going to talk about Ahsoka. At least the first episode. I will let you know a little bit about my reaction next week, but this is a writing vlog, not a movie or show reaction vlog. The reason I still do this, for those of you who did not know from the previous episode that I did, I'm doing analysis of stories and stuff like that from movies and shows and books, anything that I've come across. Sometimes I'll go into a really heavy discussion about something or like a certain aspect of it in detail because, as a writer, that's what we should do, and as a storyteller, it's my job to also analyze stories that have already been written. And besides, it's a little fun, a little break from the norm, and it still relates. So that's why I'm doing this. I decided to take a 2-week break in honor of this series premiere happening. So I won't go into too much depth next week on the next episode, but I will touch it just a little bit in terms of my reaction and response in a quick, brief way. Besides that, let's get right into the Ahsoka premiere episode 1. So I've been keeping you guys updated on all this stuff I've been having. I've been really celebrating today with Star Wars Day stuff. And listening to music and all that. I do go all out. I go crazy. I go the whole 9 yards of celebration, from music to food and everything. So I did have like space waffles, technically Star Wars waffles, Mandalorian and Grogu waffles with blue milk. It wasn't that great. I think I just needed more sweetness in it. It wasn't as great as the one in the Disney parks. I'll get there eventually. I do have my own version, which I'll show you with the day I make it. So every now and then I will probably make something for the show, in honor of the show anyways. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters, as I mentioned in the last episode. So that's why this is a huge deal, and the Star Wars Rebels are a great cast of characters, and Speed is also my second favorite, at least my favorite in Rebels. Ahsoka is my second favorite character. Yeah. I did explain all that last week. Okay. So I want to talk about the episode, the main first episode. I'm going to try not to give any spoilers. Maybe there might be a tad spoiler, but nothing like groundbreaking and like, oh my god, spoilers. There was an oh my god cliffhanger, but I don't think it's self-serving just because we kind of seen the trailers and the commercials, so we kind of are like, okay, because it's like, we know it'll be alright kind of deal, so. But apart from that, so let's talk about it. I loved it. I loved the episode. It was amazing. It is titled Part 1, Master and Apprentice. Very convenient, very appropriate, because it's pretty much all about Master and Apprentice. The whole episode is pretty much an exposition, as I had always predicted. Like, naturally, I've always noticed there's a trend when it's supposed to be like a movie, but they try to put it into a big series, a season of a story. And especially like in 8 parts, that's enough if you think about it. There's a lot of extra scenes that they add to make it more wholesome, and which we love, right? But it is technically like a big long movie or like a book if you think about it. So the first episode is very much an exposition episode. So we get to know more about what's been happening, what's going on, and Ahsoka and Sabine are reunited. Obviously we got that from the trailer. There's a fallout between them. I'm going to give you guys some hints. It definitely has to do more with her Mandalorian aspect, which, Ahsoka should have known coming into it. But it's annoying Ahsoka like crazy. There's definitely some conflict, and you definitely see it. It's kind of funny too, and I like that. I like that there's humor in it as well. Like, it's kind of predictable because you know these characters, and you're like, yeah, this is what she's gonna do. This is what they're gonna do. You know it. So it's really nice. One thing I love about Sabine is pretty much living on Lothal. That much is a given. She's kind of alone and really skirting away from her responsibilities and duties. These big things are not so important, but others find important, and you should be there, you know. But then it's like, oh, was that today? Was it yesterday? Slipped my mind. This was exactly Sabine's behavior. And she's really doing something which I know I would probably do, this whole avoidance thing, where it's like, I don't want to be in the center of attention and spotlight, and I just like to just get out of there. And I feel like that's exactly what she is doing in the first episode. She's just like somebody who's just like, I don't want to deal with all this public stuff. I don't want to deal with it. One thing interesting is, so there are some interesting questions that are rising up. One is that Sabine has a Lothcat, which is cool. And you get to really see how Sabine is living. And it feels so mundane and normal, like all of us have, you know? All of us are able to live, like, you know, coming home, seeing your pet and giving it a good greeting and hi, hello. And, you know, feeding them and looking at memories and messages and, you know, things like that. That's kind of what she does. She's not busy. She's not really busy. She's just avoiding civic duties and stuff. But it's not like important. It's like just more like, and like, you know, they're opening up the painting, mural painting of her and her comrades of the Ghost crew. And of course she's not there. It's like, oh, Commander Wren. But, oops. Yeah, Commander Wren. So she becomes a commander, which is an interesting content. I'm not giving you guys a lot of spoilers, trust me. I said a little bit. So she is a commander, which I don't get because, you know, how is she a commander? Aside from if she was Ahsoka's Padawan, that would make sense, but I don't see how that would relate because they're not military anymore. The Jedi are gone. They're not working on a military level. So that'll be intriguing to know how that happens. And we still don't have a name for her Lothcat. Some things did happen as I kind of foresaw it happening. And it did end with a bang, which is like a shocker, which is cool. I'm not telling you guys. See, I'm not spoiling everything. I just gave you the commander thing, and then the Lothcat doesn't have a name. Sabine and Ahsoka are definitely not on... They're okay, but it's funny because it's very much like... It's a typical parent-child kind of relationship. It's like where you know someone just, you're not very happy being around anymore, and someone who's just been a disappointment, and you have conflict. It's like, it's so typical, kind of like not listening to them, and you know, when they first meet, and here's just a small spoiler, not a big deal, just kind of spoiler, is like Ahsoka doesn't even say hi to her. Like everyone says hi to Sabine, like Hugh Yang is like, hi Sabine Wren, hello. And Zadie's like, Sabine Wren, hi, where were you yesterday? Oh, that was yesterday? Like, you know. And then just Ahsoka and her just like, Ahsoka just gets right to the chase and it's like not even saying hello. It's like, okay. Like, okay. We're just cutting right to the point. Awkward. Oh yeah, it's awkward. Very awkward. Yeah, and Sabine doesn't feel comfortable. She doesn't feel comfortable around Ahsoka and wants her own space and moment to think clearly. Like, she's still doing selfless things, but she's just like, I'd rather do it on my own space and quiet time. Me time. Because that's what she prefers. And obviously it's because of prior conflicts that's causing her to feel certain ways. What those tensions, what they originally were, we don't really know. Again, I mentioned about the Mandalorian thing. But we'll see what happens with that in the upcoming episode and where it goes. It's kind of left at a shocker point, but it's like, you know, the trailers kind of, you know, gave the answers to that anyway, so it's not that big of a shocker. And it was kind of predictable for me because I kind of had a feeling this might be how they might do it. There was a couple paths how I felt like the story was going to lay itself out, but so this one was kind of, I saw it coming. There is also some parallels there too. I'm going to give you guys a hint. I'm not going to give you guys what it is specifically, but I want you to know if anyone would catch it. There's a parallel between this episode and Phantom Menace. There's a scene that's like parallel to with each other. And no, I'm not talking about Kanan thing, because that's a different thing, right? I'm talking about Phantom Menace, like Phantom Menace Episode 1, Star Wars. Yeah, with Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan and Anakin and Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah, that whole thing. So let me see if you guys see that one, if you guys notice which one it is. Alright, so that's that for my response for episode 1 of Ahsoka. Next week we are going to go back into the writing and how I'm progressing with that. I'm going to give you guys a hint on what I might be talking about next week. Is possibly more on voice. I'm not sure, maybe. I don't want to keep boring you guys with voice, but we'll see where we are. It's hard to talk about it when you're kind of like on the similar tangent, so it gets difficult. But I'll see what I can find that I can tell you guys about and the progress I'm making. Alright, so that's that for now, and I'll see you all guys next week. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more future videos like this. See ya.